Decades ago, we had Tanya Harding rock the ice skating world with her shenanigans. Now we have teenagers rocking the future farmers of America's world. We're going to talk about this bizarre and heartbreaking case in today's video. Hello, Sofa Squad, and welcome back to the sofa. Psh, sofa's there. Psh, boys are here. Psh, I'm right here. My name's Paul if you're new to the channel. If you're not new to the channel, my name still is Paul. It's been that way for, well, I don't know, almost 50 years. So anyways, what we are doing today, y'all, is trigger warning, y'all. This case involves an animal, a goat specifically. Almost didn't do it because of it. So you'll know we're dog people, we're animal people here, but specifically dogs too. So just know that, trigger warning, if that stuff affects you majorly, this video is not for you, okay? So what this is about is a case about a girl who took out her rival's goat so that she could try to win some awards. That's the gist of it, just so you know. What we're going to do is we're going to be looking at different photos, different, whatnot throughout this video. So that's how it will go. That was your little 60-second overview. Now, before we do get into this, I always like to remind everybody, I ain't no lawyer, I ain't no doctor, ain't no therapist, ain't none of that fancy credential stuff, okay? Only credentials we got up in here, whoosh, is the sofa, psh, and my sass. So just keep that in mind. I'm just making, telling the story, public information, opinions, all that type of stuff on public information. So let's go ahead and get into it. So you think that you've heard it all. Well, y'all, let's face it, here at the sofa, we almost have. We've talked about some extraordinary cases with offenders that choose the most bizarre methods of murder weapons. We have killer mushrooms, we have suitcases, we have all sorts of things. Now, history has shown us that when a rivalry of any kind is involved, things are destined to go sideways very quickly, okay? So y'all, today's case has literally all that in it, okay? Today's case is one that revolves around an intense competition that is fueled by teen angst, greed, and hubris. Now, at the center of this atrocity is an unconventional decedent who is unalived, okay? In an equally unconventional manner. Let's just say that the murder weapon probably won't ever be running for a spot in the board game for Clue, okay? It's that bizarre. Now, also keep this in mind before we get into it. This case is out of Texas. In Texas, they consider a defendant at 17 years old an adult, okay? So keep that little bit of information in the back of your mind as we review all this. Go ahead and buckle your seatbelts up and let's get started. So Aubrey Vanlandingham attended the Vista Ridge High School in Cedar Park, Texas. Now this is a suburb of Austin. This is where she was a senior and the chapter president of the Future Farmers of America, FFA for short. Now if you're unfamiliar with the FFA, let's go ahead and just go over that real quick. Its mission statement reads, "We are a dynamic youth organization that changes lives and prepares members for premier leadership, personal growth, and career success through agriculture education." Now, as a member of this group, Aubrey and her peers would participate in countless activities, okay? Now, a few of which undoubtedly included educating younger students and the community at large with agriculture literacy, doing volunteer work, or even participating in contests based on everyday agricultural skills. FFA livestock competitions offer sizable scholarships and cash prizes. I mean, some of these are up to $30,000, okay? So this is like big money, especially when you're talking about this age category here. And it would be this very activity in particular that would ultimately prove to be Vanlandingham's kryptonite, okay? This would force her to trade in, at least temporarily, her old blue jeans and sneakers for a pair of khaki Williamson County Jail scrubs and some of those fancy spongy flip-flops. We've come to know those quite thoroughly through Lori Vallow's footage when she's in court. So now let's get into exactly what happened. So in October of 2024, surveillance cameras in the Vista Ridge Ag Facility FFA barn showed disturbing footage of Aubrey's attack on her schoolmate's show goat, Willie. He was only 6 months old when Vanlandingham trapped him and used brute force to administer the lethal doses of pesticide she'd placed in a drench gun. Now, this part, y'all, I cannot with this part. The video, it's not available to the public right now. It shows his attempts to break free before Aubrey used the device 2 more times, okay? Now, one of the tragically ironic things about this is this tool is actually designed specifically with the animal's safety in mind. mind, but it would be just that she would use to take this poor little thing's life. Now, it should not be discounted, as the freshman's mom noted. Aubrey was in the vet classes, so she knew what she was doing. Now, the Daily Mail provided its readers with a more detailed and obviously heartbreaking description of the video footage, reporting, and I'll quote, "Officers also recovered sickening video of Willie running away from Aubrey and shaking after the alleged poison was dispensed, and before she sent the twisted footage to the mother of her freshman rival to show Willie was acting funny." I'm going to save my thoughts to the end. Okay, let's just get through this. Now, the attack was made worse by the allegations that Aubrey, during a span of 2 hours, returned to the barn twice before reporting his condition. Willie was bellowing in pain as he experienced breathing problems and repeated convulsions before dying in his young owner's arms the following day. Just let that sink in. Now, even though Aubrey was 17, maybe she took a page out of Sarah Boone's book. I don't know, but she came in hot, okay? She denied any involvement until investigators showed her the surveillance video. Definitely pen pals with Sarah Boone over this. Then she confessed, okay? Cryptically uttering that she killed Willie because she doesn't like cheaters. Now, the freshman's mother was perplexed as she told the Daily Mail, "You can't even cheat when it comes to showing goats. It makes no sense." So that's where we see jealousy fall into place. Now, I am unfamiliar with the process of showing goats and whatnot. I actually have some Facebook friends that I know that they do that and whatnot. I might reach out to them because I'm curious about this. If you have shown goats and whatnot and you know that process, drop it in the comments because I would love to learn about like that, like what they're talking about here where you can't cheat or whatever, like how that works. Now, let's continue with the story. Now, as is often with many of these defendants and whatnot that we cover, they love to talk, they love to dig the hole deeper, they love to try and talk their way out of it. However, Aubrey was no exception to any of this. She did tell the investigators that that October 23rd incident was actually her second attempt on the baby goat's life. The investigation also turned up a search history so bad off, literally it made Corey Richens look like, you know, she just knew what she was doing with that Google search. Some of the inquiry showed how much bleach kills a goat and poisoning pets, what you should know. The greatest insight into her abilities as a criminal mastermind can be found in one ill-fated question: how to clear search history. I cannot roll my eyes hard enough. My eyes twitching. I rolled them so damn hard, my eyes twitching. Okay, I cannot with this. This is at 17 years old. This is at 17 years old. Okay, I'll say it for the third time. This is at 17 years old. Imagine with some street smarts on her at age 30 over a man. Let's keep going. Now, after this was revealed to the public, the Texas Future Farmers of America Association released the following statement. I'm just going to read it here. "Our programs foster leadership, accountability, and ethical decision making. Animal welfare and safe handling practices are reinforced through supervised agricultural experience, where students have the opportunity to gain real-world agricultural training. Members are encouraged to demonstrate ethical behavior in all activities, from competitions to community service. The Texas FFA does not condone any behavior that compromises ethical standards, animal welfare, or the integrity of its programs." We'll talk about my experience with FFA at the end of the video. Not that I was in FFA, I know you're like, what? But I mean, I went to a school that had this and knew people in it. And so, yeah, definitely we're going to talk about that, but let's keep going. Now, the San Antonio Express News had this to say. They detailed the potential penalties that Aubrey faces if found guilty, saying, and I'll quote, "Cruelty to livestock animals is a state jail felony that carries a possible sentence of up to 2 years in jail and a fine of $10,000. Necropsy, which is basically like an animal autopsy, it revealed that the kid, and for the people who don't know, that's what baby goats are called, kids. It revealed that the kid was poisoned by an insecticide commonly used on fruit crops. According to the affidavit, the pathologist told police the smell of pesticide permeated the room when he cut open the goat's stomach." Now, as of this recording, Aubrey has not entered a plea. She is slated to appear in court on January 15th. Now, what I want to do is take a moment and go over to Court TV, our friends over at Court TV, Julie Grant, and I want to look at a clip that she did about this case where she had some of the talking heads on with her, going over at some people, you know, obviously defense attorneys, people like this and whatnot, prosecutors and whatnot, getting their opinions on this, and use this to offer some of my own opinions and whatnot on it. it. So now keep in mind what we're dealing with here, okay? We're dealing with Future Farmers of America in Texas, a 17-year-old cheerleader, president of the FFA club. And we're not just talking about some random who was just like, you know, oh, let me join up here real quick, whatever. This is somebody truly setting an example. And I'm not trying to sit here and say that, oh, just because she was the president, it was whatever. Obviously, everyone representing that does, but this is elevated to a little bit of a higher status, okay? So keep that in mind. And at the center of it, poor Willie, right? Keep him in mind too. So let's hear what the professionals have to say.
In the criminal justice system now. Manuel Gomez, let me begin with you. Your thoughts, please.
Well, it's shocking that how methodical she was. You know, she kind of reminded me of the Ryan Walsh case and Luigi Mangione, how she methodically searched online how to kill this animal.
Stop. Amen, brother. This part right here absolutely sent me where I'm like, as I said earlier, the way she's searching this out and methodically going through this, trying to figure out how to kill this animal. Somebody wanted to be vet. Somebody leading FFA, and she's doing this. The depravity of it is so shocking. And again, here's the thing. Y'all, like I said in the beginning, you know we follow lots of stuff here at the Sofa Squad. The fact that this is coming from a 17-year-old, and I'm shocked by, like, you know, or I shouldn't say that. I'm shocked by headlines, obviously, but this is another level of it, which it takes a lot for me to say that. Let's keep going.
And I want to tell you, Julie, you know, this child shows the makings of a potential serial killer. Most serial killers start off killing small animals and torturing them before they turn their rage on humans. Perfect example was Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, David Berkowitz, the son of Sam.
Again, amen, brother. This is the part that's concerning. Somebody who's willing to do this and to sit there and come back and check on the goat and see he's struggling and dying. The stress that it puts me through when I hear one of my dogs make a noise and I think they're hurt or whatever sends me, okay? And the fact that she could do that, I mean, look at the baby goat, okay? How could you do that? Imagine, again, I just come back to this, imagine her as 30 years old, scorned lover. What could possibly happen? I'm not trying to sit here and say she's not fixable or redeemable, whatever. Hopefully there's time, but this needs to be taken very seriously. This is very scary.
Okay, she is clearly on that path and showed no remorse. And I hope they incarcerate her and give her the mental health that she needs.
Exactly. I mean, this is the thing. This is somebody who needs serious mental health. She's young. Maybe she can make a change and whatnot. I mean, that would be the hopeful outcome, but there needs to be consequences. And I mean, honestly, this is Texas. I expect there to be, right? I mean, Texas does not play around, right? Let's keep going.
The fact that she watched this animal suffer and seemed to enjoy it. So I completely agree with Manuel that this is a potential sociopath or serial killer in the making. She apparently described how she gave the animal the bleach or pesticide or whatever it was and watched him bellow in pain. And that's absolutely horrible because, as you said, this is a pet.
Honestly, I can't anymore with this. I can't. It's just all the things she said. I 100% agree. Someone that could sit there and do that and watch this thing suffer like that, and whatever her outcome was, whether she was jealous of this girl, she wanted to win these competitions, whatever the case is, there's obviously no excuse for it. I'm going to also quote Aubrey's attorney here. Their attorney would say, "My minor client and her family are working hard to resolve any legal issues and non-legal issues raised by these allegations. We're thankful for a judicial process that will let us tell our story." And I want to hear the story. Again, with these cases that we follow, like with Sarah Boone, it's like, let's hear the story. Now, God knows that was one we wish we hadn't asked for, right? What do you say? What do you say? There's nothing to say, right? There's literally nothing to say about this. Yes, they might try and do the minor card or whatever. Again, Texas is a little bit different. They're going to consider her an adult. And these are very adult actions. These are very concerning actions. Like all the people just said, these are major, major signs of trouble. Now, let's talk very quick about the mother of Willie's owner. Now, the mother of Willie's owner, so the mom of the other girl. Now, the other girl's a little bit younger, okay? So this is what she had to say. I'm going to quote her too. She said, "We want justice for my daughter and her goat, and we are calling for a judge to give Aubrey jail time and get some kind of mental help. We don't believe Aubrey has any remorse for her actions," she said. "We don't want a slap on the wrist. We want to make sure that she is punished. She needs to take ownership for what she has done." I mean, Yeah. I mean, okay, 100%. Right there with you. Now, we know like the fundamentals of the case at this point, but obviously it's an ongoing investigation. It's unfolding before our eyes. More information will be coming forth and forward and whatnot. So we're going to stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I have questions. So why Willie? What was going on? Was the FFA president, was Aubrey truly motivated by winning these awards, by greed, by all the things that we're hearing? Or was there something else going on? I mean, was it strictly that? Literally, was it a Tanya Harding? Like, was it that? It sounds like there was layers and layers and layers and layers of jealousy and whatnot going on. Because I just don't see how it could be as simplistic as, here's her prize goat, she's going to do better, I'll kill the goat. And maybe that's me being naive. Maybe it could be just as simple as that, right? I don't know, right? Not that there's anything that could come forward to make me say, oh, okay, I get it. I get it. It's all good. I get why she did that to the goat. We can move on, right? There's literally nothing you could say, okay? Other than the goat was a zombie who had killed 50 people, right? And even then, the weird thing in my mind, I would still feel sorry for the goat, okay? I'm sorry. I just would, okay? But another thing that just seems so weird for the connection of it, I'm going to again quote the mother of the victim as saying this. She said, they weren't friends. And my daughter is a lot younger, so they didn't really interact at all. That's what's even more bizarre. So it makes you wonder, are the parents involved somehow? Not the victim, but you know, the other girls. Like, was there some parent rivalry going on? What about the video footage from the first attack? You know, are they going back and looking at all the footage of the interactions that were going on in this holding area where the goat was? And of course, we have to wonder, at what point is the Walmart footage going to step in? Because you know, this is reeking of Walmart. There has to be Walmart footage at some point in this absolute absurd tragedy. So like I said also in the beginning, like I went to a school, we had FFA, and the kids in it were very nice and whatnot. I mean, obviously we were all in high school, right? But I mean, I grew up in like a farming area. I mean, those farms, some of them are still left, but they've mostly gone away now or whatever. But I mean, that's how it was. And these were very nice people. Like I'm sitting here literally looking through my lens of the people who were in FFA and trying to imagine one of them doing something this sinister. And that's what blows my mind. I'm just like, yeah, these are just good old country folk. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, this is crazy stuff. So I pray that, and I'm not even sure the victim, and I say the victim, I mean, obviously Willie, but the owner of Willie, the young lady who was also victimized in this, who Willie died in her arms. I pray she's okay. I can't imagine the act of an animal dying in your arms is tragic enough, only to then find out the evilness that went behind it. Like, it gives me goosebumps right now. I'm literally sitting here trying to think, like, if I found out that somebody was getting pleasure out of poisoning one of my animals and watched it slowly die, that is a new layer of evil, okay? This girl needs serious help, okay? And so I pray that the judge sees that and does something to prevent her doing this from a human being. Corey Richan's name all over this. I mean, literally, she's pen paling with Sarah Boone, okay? It's just, we need to stop this in its tracks right now. So, that is it. I do appreciate you if you're still watching. If you're not still watching, well, then you don't know that I'm saying this, but I appreciate you too, okay? Maybe I'm just psychically sending that message to you, okay? But let me know what you think in the comments. What are your questions? Did you have experience with FFA? Did you show goats? Can you give insights into that? I'm very curious to read the comments and see. So just drop it down there. And while you're down there dropping that, if you could, drop some little sofas off for myself, Roscoe and Spirit, and for the little boys, Bo and Luke, who've been hanging out very quietly and very nicely. That way we'll have a place to sit, hang out, talk about this case, all the other ones we do talk about at the Sofa Squad. And until we meander our ways down to the comment section, I'll see y'all soon. I just wanted to say thank you again for watching the whole video, and also thank you for being part of the Sofa Squad. Special thanks to all the Patreon members, channel members from both of my channels, everybody who likes, shares, subscribes, comments in the comment sections. It helps the channel out so much. Now, don't forget, I do have that other channel, the podcast channel. That's where we go live, we hang out, we talk. We have kind of sort of a schedule, but just be sure and check it out. I'll put it up here on the screen. And then, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to follow me and Roscoe on the Instagram, go on, check it out. It's right here on the screen again. But once again, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being part of the Sofa Squad, and I'll see you in the next video.